Today, we are here to understand Chapter 3 of Civics, how the state government works. In this chapter, we are going to study about, first of all, the work of the government at the state level. Then, we will be studying about how does this take place in a democracy. Third, what is the role of a member of a legislative assembly or an MLA and the ministers? How do people express their views and demand action from government? India is a democratic country and it is governed by three different levels of government. The first one is the local level, second, state government, and then the topmost level of the government is the central government. Why there is a need for three levels of government? As we all know, India is a vast country with many diversities. The problem of people in villages and small towns differ from the people who are living in the cities or the urban areas. The government meets the needs and the demands of people by dividing itself into three levels. This is called decentralization of power, wherein each level has its own area of functioning and does not interfere with the other. The topmost level, that is the national government, that makes the decisions on matters like defense, issues of currency, foreign affairs, etc. State government has the power to make decisions related to the state, like agricultural policy of the state. Then, the local government, it is responsible for managing the affairs of small towns and the villages. State legislature in India. We are now going to study about how the state government is formed. Like the parliament at the union level or the central level, each state has a state legislature. The state legislature is the basic law-making body of any state. State legislature in India is of two types. First one, bicameral, which has two houses. The first one is Legislative Council and the second one, Legislative Assembly. The states like Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, Maharashtra, Karnataka have this bicameral legislature, whereas some of the states have the unicameral where there is single house like West Bengal, Punjab, Kerala, Odisha, Delhi, etc. Legislative Council. What is Legislative Council? It is the upper house of the state legislature. The size of the state's legislative council depends upon the total strength of the legislative assembly. So now the question arises, what is the legislative assembly? Legislative assembly is popularly elected house of state legislature. That means people are electing their representative. And the functions of this assembly is lawmaking. It is the most important function of this legislative assembly. Secondly, control over state's finance, where the money, how much money is being used in which area. Then, state ministers answerable to legislative assembly. Here, the ministers are answerable for of the state assembly, legislative assembly, and has power on state list. Member of Legislative Assembly, who are they? In short, we often call them MLAs. The term of Legislative Assembly is 5 years. That means we elect our MLAs for 5 years. Then elect electors in the constituency casting vote to choose their MLA. The people have the power to choose the MLA. Elected representative from each constituency become a member of legislative assembly. Whoever we are casting the vote and is the winner becomes the MLA. These candidates belong to different political parties. The, the political party whose MLA secured more than half of the state is majority party or the ruling party. That means the party which has the maximum number of MLAs rules the state or forms a government in that particular state. All the other members of the parties form the opposition. That means the MLAs who are not the part of the ruling party are the part of opposition party. What is a constituency? Every state is divided into small areas called constituencies, which is covering one or more districts. Each such constituency has an elected representative who is a member of the Legislative Assembly or an MLA. There are three basic categories of the people who control a state. The first one is the governor. The governor is the nominal head of the state. Second is the chief minister. He is the real head of the state and is the head of the ruling party. Then the State Council of Ministers, that are the key advisors or the different ministers. There are different functions of these cabinet ministers. First of all important executive decisions are taken by these members in the cabinet. Then these decisions are the binding of the entire Council of Ministers. That means all the member of ministers, all the council ministers have to follow those. Each department in the state government is headed by the cabinet minister. Every department, it could be education, it could be agriculture, it could be health. They have a cabinet minister who is heading that department. One minister may be in charge of more than one department. That means one minister can be given more than one department. For example, industry or health may be under one single minister. Then next, we are going to study about the role of the political parties. In a democratic country, political parties play the most important role. They bridge the gap between the people and the government, and they hold the power in the government. What is the coalition government? Coalition. Here, when no single party is able to attain majority in election, that means if no party attains more than 50% of the seats, then the different groups of political parties come together and form the government. That type of government is called as the coalition government. Role of opposition parties. What is the part played by the opposition people? The people, the MLAs or the parties who are not in power but still are the part of that assembly. First of all, opposition party refers to the elected political parties or representatives who are not the members of the ruling party, as told earlier. It plays an important role in highlighting the weaknesses of the government. That means the main role of these people belonging to the opposition party is to tell the drawbacks of the ruling party, where the ruling party is lacking.